Kofi was born in a small town in Ghana, a place where mornings began with the crowing of roosters and children running barefoot on dusty roads. His parents were not wealthy, but they were hardworking. His father repaired old bicycles, and his mother sold roasted plantain by the roadside. Life was not easy, but the family survived. From a young age, Kofi learned the meaning of struggle. While other boys played football after school, he helped his father fix broken wheels and adjust rusty chains. He dreamed of a better life, a life where money was not always a problem, a life where his mother didn't have to worry about feeding the family. So when Kofi grew older, he moved to Accra to chase opportunity. Accra welcomed him with noise, traffic, smoke, and endless challenges. It was not the city of gold he imagined. He slept on a friend's floor for months and searched for jobs everywhere. After many rejections, he finally found a job as a driver for a logistics company. The salary was small, but he was grateful. To save money, Kofi worked more hours than anyone else. He drove trucks across long distances, sometimes through the night, sometimes through heavy rain, sometimes while fighting sleep. He took extra jobs on weekends delivering goods, helping people move, and carrying heavy loads. His hands grew rough, his back ached, but he kept going. He saved every extra coin, telling himself that one day God would bless his hustle. One Saturday afternoon, while waiting for a mechanic to fix a company truck, Kofi walked to a small food joint to get lunch. There he met Ama, a beautiful, light-skinned woman with a sharp mind and a confident posture. She had just completed her accounting degree and was doing national service at a private firm. She spoke like someone who knew what she wanted from life. She dreamed of becoming a top accountant, working in big companies, traveling abroad, and living a comfortable life. Kofi was drawn to her confidence. They exchanged numbers. They started talking. They fell in love. Ama was the first woman Kofi truly opened his heart to. He believed her when she told him she saw a future with him. He believed her when she said she wanted to build a family with him. He believed every word. Ama wanted to take professional accounting courses to make her certificate stronger. The fees were expensive, but Kofi told her, "Don't worry, I will support you." To do that, he worked even harder. He skipped meals, skipped outings, and even sold his small motorbike to add to the fees. He worked late into the night and early in the morning, sometimes going 2 days without proper rest. His mother saw the changes in him. One day, when he visited the village, she pulled him aside and said, "Kofi, my son, I know you love this girl, but you're doing too much. You have not married her. You have not put a ring on her finger. Don't spend all your strength on someone who is not your wife." But Kofi smiled. "Mama, Ama is different. She's not like other girls. She will stand by me." His mother shook her head slowly. "Love is blind, but don't close your eyes completely." But Kofi refused to listen. His heart belonged to Ama. After Ama completed her professional courses, she told Kofi that UK companies were recruiting accountants. She said it was her chance to go abroad, earn good money, and prepare a better life for her and Kofi. "Kofi, when I settle, I will call you," she promised. "We will marry there. We will build our life together." Those words filled Kofi with hope. He gave her everything she needed: money for exams, money for processing, money for travel, money for accommodation. He even borrowed from his boss, promising to pay back slowly. When Ama finally got her visa and flight ticket, she cried and hugged Kofi tightly. "You are the man I want to spend my life with," she said. Kofi believed her. He watched her plane fly away with tears in his eyes, thinking his sacrifice was finally leading somewhere great. At first, Ama called him every day from the UK. She sent pictures of her new office, her winter jackets, and the busy streets. She thanked him for supporting her. She said she loved him. But gradually, things changed. Calls became short. Messages became dry. Video calls became rare. Excuses became many. "I'm tired. I'm busy. I'm working late. I forgot to reply." Kofi felt something was wrong, but he told himself it was just stress. He trusted her too deeply to think otherwise. One day, Kofi received a message from a childhood friend who also lived in the UK. "Bro, are you and Ama still together?" the friend asked. "Yes," Kofi replied proudly. "She is my future wife." There was silence for a moment. Then the friend sent a photo. Ama, standing with another man, holding him, smiling beautifully, wearing the expensive coat Kofi paid for, resting her head on the man's shoulder. The man looked successful, the type of man who had money, comfort, and a stable life. The type of man Ama had always dreamt of. Kofi felt his heart fall into his stomach. He called Ama immediately. After a long pause, she finally sighed and said, "Kofi, I'm sorry. I didn't plan this. Life here is different. I have met someone who can support me, someone who understands my level." Kofi felt like the world was spinning. "Ama, what about everything I did for you? What about our plans?" She was silent for a moment, then said, "You are a good man, but good is not enough. I need stability. I need growth. I need someone who matches my future." His chest tightened. "So you used me?" "No," she said softly. "You helped me, and I will never forget that. But we are not meant for each other." Just like that, the woman he sacrificed everything for walked out of his life. Kofi lost weight. He stopped laughing. He worked like a machine just to drown his thoughts. At night he would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering how a heart that loved so deeply could be betrayed so easily. His mother noticed his pain. She held him and said, "My son, love does not kill. Stand up again. Your story is not finished." But Kofi didn't believe her. Not yet. His heart was still bleeding. After Ama broke Kofi's heart, his world felt empty. He lost trust. He lost excitement for life. He worked every day like someone carrying a heavy load on his chest. His friends tried to cheer him up, but nothing worked. His mother kept praying for him, reminding him that wounds heal with time, but at that moment, Kofi felt like his wound would never close. Days turned to weeks and weeks turned to months. Kofi stopped believing in love. He decided he would focus on himself, his work, and his future, nothing more. One evening, while doing a delivery for his company, Kofi stopped by a supermarket to buy a cold drink. Inside, he met a young woman named Izai. She was standing in the aisle looking confused, trying to choose between two types of cereals. Kofi laughed and said, "Both of them taste the same. Just pick the one with a nicer picture." She laughed back, and her smile was warm, the kind that made a person feel peace. They started talking. She was a teacher at a nearby private school. She loved children. She was simple, gentle, and respectful, nothing like the loud, flashy ladies Kofi had met in the city. Before they parted ways, she said something unexpected. "You look like someone who carries heavy thoughts. I hope whatever is bothering you will pass." Kofi forced a smile, but something in his heart moved. It was the first time in months that someone's words touched him. They kept meeting by chance at the supermarket, at the bus station, on the street. Eventually, they exchanged numbers. Izai didn't rush him. She never pushed. She never asked too many questions. She simply offered friendship. She would send messages like, "Hope your day went well. Don't forget to eat. Your dreams still matter." Her calm support began to melt the walls around Kofi's heart. But he was still scared. He had been broken before. He didn't want to go through the same pain again. Izai understood and gave him space, but she stayed close. She listened when he talked. She comforted him when he remembered his past. She reminded him that his value was not tied to someone who didn't see it. Little by little, Kofi healed. 3 months after meeting Izai, something unbelievable happened. A large company that had seen Kofi's work ethic and discipline approached him. They were expanding and needed someone to manage logistics and operations. Kofi thought it was a prank, but after several meetings, they offered him a position as head of logistics and operations, with a salary far higher than anything he had ever dreamed of. When he got the news, He couldn't speak. Tears filled his eyes. Izai was the first person he called. She screamed with joy and prayed for him on the phone. She told him, "Kofi, God did not forget you. You deserve this. This is only the beginning." For the first time in a long while, Kofi felt hope again. With his new job came new confidence. He stood taller. He laughed more. He began to look at Izai differently. One evening, after work, he invited her to a quiet place and told her the truth. He wanted to love again, and he wanted to love her. Izai smiled, tears gathering in her eyes. "I have been waiting," she said softly. "I loved you even when your heart was weak." Their relationship blossomed like a plant watered after a long drought. Kofi met her parents. Her family welcomed him like their own son. His mother hugged Izai and thanked God for sending her into Kofi's life. Within a year, they had a beautiful traditional wedding. A year later, they welcomed a baby girl, Korker, bright-eyed and full of life. Kofi finally had the family he dreamed of. His life finally made sense again. Meanwhile, in the UK, Ama's life had taken a different turn. For 2 years, she lived happily with the man she chose over Kofi. He had money, he had influence. He bought her expensive things and took her to nice places. Ama believed she had made the best decision. She believed she had upgraded her life. But things changed. Slowly, the man began to lose interest in her. He started coming home late. He ignored her messages. He treated her like she didn't matter. He began cheating openly. Sometimes he would insult her. Sometimes he would push her aside when she tried to talk. Sometimes he left her crying the whole night while he went out with other women. One night, after a terrible argument, he told her, "You should be grateful I even picked you. Women like you are everywhere. If you can't take it, you can leave." Ama broke down on the floor crying. She remembered how she left Kofi. She remembered how he sacrificed everything for her. She remembered how he believed in her when she had nothing. She whispered to herself, "I left gold to chase money." Night after night, she cried until her eyes were red and swollen. The life she thought would bring her happiness was now a cage of pain. She could not go back. She could not move forward. She was stuck with regret eating her heart. Life has a strange way of turning around. The tables were shifting. Kofi was rising higher. Ama was sinking into loneliness. But destiny still had more surprises waiting. Surprises that would connect their stories again in a way neither of them expected. Here is the final part of your story: long, emotional, meaningful, and complete. You can present it directly to your audience. Ama's life had already begun to crumble, but she never imagined things could get worse. A few weeks after her husband's cheating and abuse grew unbearable, he made a move that broke her completely. One evening, after another heated argument, he looked at her coldly and said, "I'm tired of this marriage. I don't love you anymore. Pack your things and leave my house." Ama froze. She thought he was bluffing. She begged him to talk things out. She knelt down, crying and shaking, holding his leg, but he pushed her away. The next morning, he used the law to remove her from the house. And because he had strong connections in the UK, he fought for custody of their daughter and won. Ama watched her little girl being taken away. She cried, screamed, and begged, but nobody listened. Her daughter called out, "Mommy," while being carried into the car, and that sound shattered Ama's soul. She was left alone, in a foreign land, with no husband, no child, no money, and no one to turn to. Ama moved into a small shared apartment. Every night she cried until her pillow became wet. She could not sleep. She could not eat. She could not breathe without feeling pain. In that quiet misery, she began to think deeply. She remembered Kofi. She remembered his sacrifices, his loyalty, his kindness, his dreams for them. She remembered how he worked day and night to give her a future. She remembered how she threw him away for someone who promised her a better life. Now she had nothing, absolutely nothing. One morning, after crying the whole night, she whispered to herself, "I lost the only man who ever loved me." Ama reached out to a friend in Nigeria, one of the few people who still talk to her. She asked for Kofi's number. The friend hesitated but gave it to her. Ama dialed it with shaking hands. Her heart raced. Her voice trembled. When Kofi answered, she broke down immediately. "Kofi, it's me, Ama," she whispered through tears. Kofi was silent. His heart was calm. He had moved on. Ama explained everything: the cheating, the abuse, the humiliation, losing her daughter, being sent out like she was nothing. She cried and cried as she spoke, her voice soaked in shame. "Kofi, please forgive me. I was blind. I was foolish. You loved me more than anyone ever did. I want to come back home. I want us to start again. Please give me another chance," she begged like someone drowning. Kofi listened quietly. He wasn't angry. He wasn't bitter. He wasn't emotional. He was simply free. When Ama finished talking, Kofi took a deep breath and said, "Ama, I forgave you a long time ago, but forgiveness doesn't mean I want you back." Ama's breath caught. She felt her heart stop. Kofi continued, "I have a woman in my life now, a good woman, a God-fearing woman. She loves me. She respects me. She builds with me. She healed the wounds you left. And God blessed us with a beautiful girl." Ama's tears fell harder. "Kofi, please, don't say that. I still love you." But Kofi gently interrupted her. "No, Ama. You loved what you thought I would become, not who I was. You left me when I needed you most. Now I am where God wants me to be. And you're part of my past. Please, do not call this number again. It is time for you to move on." There was silence, painful silence. Ama tried to speak, but her voice broke. She finally whispered, "I'm sorry." But Kofi had already ended the call. Kofi walked back to his smiling wife and daughter, his real blessing. Ama sat alone in her small room, holding her phone to her chest, crying for the life she lost through her own choices. The story ends here, a powerful lesson. Never trade a good heart for temporary comfort. And never return to someone only after life has punished you for hurting them. Some doors once closed never open again.